What is crucial for you to understand at this point in time is that all the charts that we have discussed, the temperature, the air movement, the moisture, only show potential. The potential only becomes reality during that time when a transiting planet makes a perfect aspect to the ascendant. So let's quickly discuss the potential in all the charts and then determine if or when a transit will trigger those potentials. To make things easier, I have created a point system. Since the fourth house carries half the weight, which equals 4/8 of the weight, I will give any fourth house factor 4 points. Since the first house carries 1/4 of the weight, which equals 2/8 of the weight, I will give any first house factor 2 points. The other two factors remain at 1, and this will become clear as we work with the charts. Let's put Jupiter into 3 different charts and each time into a different location. If Jupiter were located in the 4th house of a temperature chart, Jupiter being warm would receive 4 warm points. If Jupiter were located in the 1st house of an air movement chart, Jupiter being a breezy planet would receive 2 wind points. If Jupiter were located in an angular house, such as the 7th, in a moisture chart, Jupiter being a dry planet would receive 1 dry point. And I will keep track of the points and post them after we finish each chart. Here is our temperature chart. Let's have a closer look at the 4th house. Uranus gives us 4 cold points, but they get canceled by Aries giving us 4 hot points. But we have Pisces on the 4th house cusp, and there we get 4 cold points. So we're ending up with 4 cold points. Pisces on the 4th house cusp is ruled by Neptune, which is cool, and Jupiter, which is warm. That cancels out. Neptune is in Pisces, which is cool, and Jupiter is in Libra, which is cool. Here we add 8 cool points. This takes care of the 4th house. Now let's have a look at the 1st house. We already know that cold Saturn in hot Sagittarius cancel out, and the warm Sun in cold Capricorn cancel out. However, Sagittarius on the 1st house cusp is hot. Therefore, we have to subtract 2 points from our 12 cold points. Remember, the 1st house influences only get 2 points. Here is phase 3 of our analysis. The owner of the temperature chart is the Sun, which is in Capricorn. The ruler of Capricorn is Saturn, and Saturn is in a hot sign. Therefore, we have to subtract 1 more cold point. Our 4th and final phase in the analysis is looking at planets in angular houses. Again, we have Saturn and the Sun in the 1st house, canceling each other out. We have Uranus in the 4th house, giving us 1 cold point. And we have the warm Jupiter and the cool Moon in the 10th house, canceling each other out. And we can now say that winter in Baltimore will be colder than normal, but only at those times when a transiting planet makes an aspect to the ascendant. The temperature chart also reveals the potential of wind from calm to storm and the potential for moisture from dry to a deluge. But the time when that potential would become real could only be determined by looking at the air movement chart and the moisture chart. Looking at the matrix timeline, we can see that from February the 6th to the 9th, and then again from the 13th to the 16th, that cold potential will be activated. Next, we'll look at the air movement chart, but I'm not going to take you through all these 4 phases again. I'll do this for you to save time and show you the final result. And here it is. The wind factor is 26 points above average. And the matrix timeline shows only one transiting aspect to the ascendant, and that is from February the 7th to February the 10th, when Venus forms a square to the ascendant. Here is the first moisture chart for the week beginning February the 10th. Dry, 12 points above average. And here's the second moisture chart, which begins about February the 17th and lasts another 7 days. And to tell you the truth, I don't quite know how to interpret this particular chart for 2 reasons. The dryness factor is 9, which means it's not a moist chart. However, look at the aspects of the planets. We have a grand square, we have 2 oppositions, that's a grand cross, and part of the grand square is Pluto and Uranus, and down the bottom Jupiter and the ascendant in the extremely wet sign of Cancer. Here is what C.C.Zain, the author of the Brotherhood of Light lessons, has to say about Pluto squaring Uranus in a storm chart. But when Pluto is heavily afflicted in a storm chart, such as receiving the square of Uranus, he is next to Saturn in his ability to produce storms of death and destruction. He is decidedly a violent planet, and lends this violence to the added fury of such charts as indicate cloudbursts, tornadoes, and hurricanes. And since this is winter, maybe I should add blizzards. Since aspects to the ascendant by the transiting planets is a vital part of weather predicting with astrology, I will now show you how Kepler makes this very, very easy for you. I brought up our second moisture chart and asked Kepler to give me the transiting aspects to the ascendant for the duration of the chart within 1 degree orb. And here is what I got instantaneously. Here is the report, and it shows the top part all the aspects from the conjunction right down to the 45 semi-square, 1 degree orb. And the bottom are the aspects in effect for that time period, which is the second moisture chart is from about February 17th to the 24th. Notice that Jupiter squares the ascendant from January 7th to March 7th, which means it is in effect at the beginning of the moisture chart. And then February 21st to February 22nd, we have a short quincunx that Mercury is forming to the ascendant. So we have the trigger aspects that can release the potential within the moisture chart. Well, this concludes my second video on astrological weather forecasting using the Brotherhood of Light method as created by C.C.Zain. Here is the website. You can get that book on any other one of the books. They're all great. And I hope that you've learned something and that you will be able, what you learned, to apply when planning your next vacation or whatever, any important event. Thank you so much. Have a great day and keep astrology.